IEF International Startup Event, conferences on big data analytics and healthcare. Today, we are extremely happy to host, for the very first time in India, the choir of Somerville College at Oxford University, conducted by William Dawes, Director of Chapel Music. We welcome the choir and the team from Somerville who've traveled all this way to bring you this special evening of music. The choir of Somerville College is the first Oxford College choir to tour India and to perform in the state of Goa. Choral music is a unique tradition at GIM. 7 years ago, we started our very own choir at the Institute and open it to all interested students, and if there are faculty as well, who have little, if any, background in Western classical music. We do this so that the students training to be managers, while adding to their cross-cultural learning, also imbibe discipline, teamwork, listening skills, synergy, and commitment, qualities that we wish to inculcate in any young manager. The GIM choir, conducted by Dr. Santiago Lusardi Girelli, is honored to also be performing for you this evening. Joining us today, we also have the Goa University Choir, founded and conducted by Santiago Lusardi Girelli. The GU Choir perhaps needs no introduction to this audience, and their numerous performances in Goa and India have received widespread appreciation from the users and press alike. We also have an eclectic group of Indo-Western musicians and vocalists joining this beautiful ensemble today. And so, without any further ado, we begin our program with our welcome chant by the GIM Choir, I Offer You Peace, words by Mahatma Gandhi and music by Carl Jenkins. Thank you. I now call upon our director, Dr. Ajit Parulekar, to give his words of welcome to all of us gathered here.
A good evening to all the friends and well-wishers of the Goa Institute of Management. Welcome to Goonj, an evening of choral music in this beautiful 357-year-old St. Francis of Assisi Church. It's my pleasure to specially welcome Baroness Jan Royal of Blaisdon, Principal of the Somerville College at Oxford University, the entire team that's come from the Oxford University, Mr. Pratap Singh Rane, Mr. Nasir Munji, Father Romuald D'Souza, the entire board and society of the Goa Institute of Management, and to the Vice Chancellor of the Goa University, Professor Varun Sahani. This joint choral performance was envisioned a little over a year back, primarily by Nasir Munji, who's the former chairman of the GIM board, and Sarah Kelim from the Oxford University. It's taken an entire year of planning to be able to
hope you enjoyed that. We now have a short interval of just 10 minutes before we proceed with the second half of our program. Tea, coffee, and water available at the desk outside. We request you to come to seats within 10 minutes, please, and also to not carry any food or beverages with you into the church. Thank you. Ladies and ladies and gentlemen, we now come to that part of the evening that we've been anticipating the most. a repertoire of carols performed by the Somerville College Choir at Oxford and directed by William Dawes, Director of Chapel Music. I invite Mr. Dawes to introduce to you the program.
Good evening. It is a terrific privilege for us to be here making music for you this evening. This is our third concert in 3 different venues, and we've had a great pleasure performing at NCPA in Mumbai and last night in the Mehboob Film Studios, also in Mumbai. But I don't think anywhere can really compare to the sheer beauty of this particular building, particularly with our friendly singing in the rafters somewhere. We continue with more music about animals. The Oxen is a setting of a poem by Thomas Hardy, full of optimism and wonderful harmonies. Following In the Bleak Midwinter was recently voted the best Christmas carol ever by a selection of eminent musicians. After that, our third-year students, Katie Basterman, accompanied by Max Neal, will sing a piece called The Little Road to Bethlehem, which is a wonderful piece which could put Bethlehem to be any town or city in the world. Thank you very much, Katie and Max. Our next set is all about Spanish dance, and I hope it's Spanish pieces in this delightful Portuguese church. We begin with Riu Riu Chiu, which is the untranslatable cry of the kingfisher. It describes the fact that the rabid wolf tried Virgin Mary, which is rabid wolf being all about the devil, and it's a wonderfully infectious piece full of kind of flamenco dancing, and I shall do my flamenco dancing to the music and not to impersonate that myself. Following that, a Basque originally set by a friend of mine, Jim Clements, called The Angel Gabriel. Beautiful, beautiful piece, and it describes the angel Gabriel coming to visit Mary to announce that she will give birth to the Saviour of the world, Jesus Christ. And the sort of trepidation that one must feel to be told that news is certainly present in the music. And then definitely a British piece to finish this set, Tomorrow Shall Be My Dancing Day, but the cross rhythms have something very similar with the first piece we'll sing now.
Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra pera.
Río, río, chera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera.
Rabioso la quiso morder, mas es poderoso no supo defender. Quiso le hacer pudiese pecar, ni an original esta virgen no hubiera.
Río, río, chillo, la guarda ribera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera.
Que es nacido ese Cristo patria divino, nombre infinito, finito se hiciera.
Río, río, chillo, la guarda ribera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera.
Muchas mesías lo han profetizado y en estos días lo hemos a Dios mandado. Vemos en el suelo y al hombre en el cielo, porque
Río, río, chillo, la guarda ribera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera.
haremos lo que deseamos, todos juntos todos le daremos nuestra voluntad, pues a igualar con el hombre viniera.
Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera. Dios guardó el lobo de nuestra codera.
Gloria
We continue with a very short piano solo from Max Neal, one of our second-year musicians. Scarlatti was chiefly known for his 555 piano sonatas and the service of the Spanish and Portuguese royal families. The Sonata Pastorale features several Christmas melodies from southern Italy, starting in a pastoral mood and quickly accelerating into a brilliant and very quick second part. Back to British music after our brief foray onto the continent. And those of us who are British hope that we can have brief forays onto the continent next year. The next two composers, Kenneth Layton and Cecilia MacDowell, have a place where I was a student. I didn't study at Oxford, I studied at Edinburgh University. And Layton was a lecturer in the music department at Edinburgh University, and Cecilia MacDowell was a student of music at Edinburgh University. Layton's piece deals with quite a dark side of Christmas. That is, when a newborn king had been born in his land, take extremely grim and drastic action by slaughtering all boys under the age of 2 years old. It was known as the murder of the... This is the Coventry Carol, an excellent musing that. Cecilia MacDowell's piece continues with the dancey theme we had earlier to keep the energy levels high. And then after that, Jamie Chen, one of our first year students studying law, will sing a beautiful of the same Thomas Hardy text you heard earlier, just without the snazzy and jazzy harmonies.
is forsooth the winds. He asketh not, but that is his. Now may we sing, and as it is, what poet not says, not whose, what poet not says, no peace. Almighty God in Trinity, thy mercy we pray with whole heart, O God. Thy mercy may all who make themselves and dangers dread from us to. And thus it is, forsooth the winds, he asketh not, but that is his. Now may we sing, and as it is, what poet not says, not whose not says, poet not who says, no.
Christmas Eve and 12 of the clock. Nice, an elder said as we sat by a flock, by the embers of half-side east. We pictured the meek-mouthed creatures where they dwelt in their strawy pen, nor did it occur to of us there to doubt they were kneeling then. So fair a if you would weave in these years, yet I feel if someone said on Christmas Eve, come see the oxen kneel in the lonely button by yonder pure childhood used to know. I should go in the gloom, hoping it might be so.
our final set of 3 pieces brings us very much into the realm of traditional Christmas carols. The first arrangement of Away in a Manger is by Robert Quinney, who is my contemporary as Director of Music at New College in Oxford. The choir is a choir of men and boys, 14 boy trebles at the age of 13, 12 choral scholars, and their choir has been going for over 500 years. Somerville Choir, on the other hand, is only 20 years old, but we think we're catching up. We then move on to a lovely piece, The 12 Days of Christmas. No one's quite sure where this piece originated from, but it's a sort of game that you might have played at a party, where one person says, on the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me, and then you think, oh, a partridge in a pear tree. And the second person goes, oh, the second day of Christmas, my true love sent me 2 turtle doves, and then you've got to remember what the first person. And this was in a lovely entitled book called Mirth Without Mischief for children at Christmas. Interestingly, if you add up all of the gifts that you're given, so I think it's 12 factorial, you end up with a lot of birds for a start, and also 364 gifts for each day of the following year. And then we finish off with an arrangement of what was originally a 16th century French dance tune, but George Woodward, an English bell ringer, decided he loves bells so much that he added these extra wong, Merrily on High.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
On the second day
my true love sent to me.
Morning birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love sent to me six swans a swimming, six swans. Hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the eighth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me
Swimming, six swans a lane.
Just before we sing our final piece as a single, which is going to be terrific, I want to extend a serious vote of thanks to the Goa Institute of Management, to Ajit, to Cedric, inviting us and hosting us and treating us like wonderful people, and for bringing us here. We're very, very grateful. So thank you very much indeed to you all. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure. I'd now like to introduce Jan Royal, the principal of Somerville College, just to say a few words.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure, what a privilege to be here. We began this evening with a welcome chant, which began, I offer you peace, I offer you love, I see your beauty. I think this evening we have seen great beauty in this glorious, glorious church, but we've certainly heard great beauty. We've heard a wonderful fusion of sound, of cultures, and I take my hat off to you, Santiago, for that glorious fusion of cultures that we heard in your first piece. So thank you much indeed. I must just say a few thanks. Firstly, we've heard it before, but Nasa Munji, without this, without you working with Sarah Kaleem, this simply wouldn't have happened. We would not have had this wonderful treat this evening. I'm joined here this evening by my colleague Sarah Kaleem, also with Bottom Bose, who is our senior advisor on India. But I'm delighted to say that Gopal and Geeta Subramaniam are also here, and they are distinguished friends of Somerville College. So thank you also to our choir. I'm so proud of these young men and women who are doing extraordinary things. Not only have they been singing in Mumbai and now this evening in Goa, they've also been doing some outreach work. They've been working with some charities, one charity called Songbound, which might be, and another called Karta, which may not be known to you, but it works with the most disadvantaged children in India, helping them to be able to achieve and attain so that they can come to the best universities in the UK. Because what we want to do is build friendship between our two countries. We want that soft power, but we also think that we in Oxford, we're the best university in the world. We are. And so we want your young people to be able to come and enjoy that too. And it also fits in with the ethos of Somerville College, which was founded in 1879 to include the excluded. And that's exactly what we do now. We want to ensure that any college and Oxford, no matter their background, their culture, their country, or their community. So that's what we do all the time. We have a strong link with India, which 1889, when Cornelia Sarabji, who was the first woman lawyer in India and the first woman to study law in Somerville College. And since we've been building our friend Indira Gandhi, one of your prime ministers, quite a controversial figure, but she studied at Somerville College, which we're very proud of. And now we are maintaining our link with India. In 2013, together with a donation from the Indian government, first such donation to an educational establishment in Great Britain, matched by a donation from Somerville and Oxford, we began something called the Oxford India Centre for Sustainable Development, and that's exactly what we do. We do research on sustainable development, but we also use it as a means to garner scholarships for people to study for their postgraduate studies in Oxford, and then they come back and work in India. So they bring with them the friendship, the knowledge to the benefit of India. And one of those fantastic young people who's just finished her studies at Somerville College is in fact from Goa. So she's going to come and say a few words to us because she is a wonderful, wonderful young woman, and her aim is to work with seaweed, to set up seaweed farms all over India, along the coast, of course, to assist with the coastal communities in India. I not only hope that she'll do this, I know that she will do that because she's got the great confidence and knowledge that an Oxford education gives to her, and she's the most fantastic young woman. Gabriella, come on, this is your home, not mine.
Thank you, Jan, for that very generous introduction. Good evening, and thank you so much for making it tonight. I'm Gabriella, and I'm a marine conservationist from Goa. I've spent most of my career working on conserving Goa's really beautiful marine biodiversity from its coral reefs and its resident dolphin population. And I recently graduated with a master's in conservation biology from the University of Oxford. To be very honest, I was quite at the thought of studying at the University of Oxford. I'm just a girl from Goa. But Oxford has impressed me with its hard work, its humility, and its warmth. Somerville College has been my home, and the Oxford India Centre I've been able to work with world-leading professors who have taken the time out to bring out the best in me, and I've been introduced to a class full of international peers who have now become close friends. I believe everyone should be given the opportunity to study at Oxford, and I am truly grateful to the Oxford India Centre for granting me the Oxford Indira Gandhi Graduate Scholarship to pursue my master's and to transform my passion into a lifelong career. I'm especially grateful to Sarah Kalim as well as Baroness Jan for helping make this possible for myself as well as for the number of people that will continue to apply to Oxford. And with this, I would like to encourage more students and young people from Goa to apply to the University of Oxford and to come back to Goa and help those working to preserve our beautiful state. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you enjoyed that thrilling performance that has set the tone to this joyful holy season of Christmas. The last set of this evening's concert will be performed by all three choirs of the day: the Somerville College Choir, the Goa University Choir, and the Goa Institute of Management Choir.
So we're going to do a last piece. It's a piece I have composed for this celebration, this singing celebration. The name of this piece is Solis Amabili. It's a piece that combines Latin words with Sanskrit words, some Bible words transcribed to Sanskrit, from Latin to Sanskrit, and it also uses some different Indian ragas with different tempos and different tals. And we are at the university. We are exploring this connection, or the possibility of connecting Western music with Indian music, choral music with traditional Indian music, which is not a simple connection because it's quite far musically, aesthetically. So we are working hard to try to find a new language for choral music, Indian choral music. So when we thought about singing some Indian song, I thought we should write something especially for this occasion and try to bring the ideas we've been working on at the Western Music Chair for the last years and try to materialize those ideas into music. So this is the piece. This is the Solis Amabili, Ishvar Razi.
Dr. Ajit Paralekar to please felicitate our wonderful conductors this evening. Will, who've brought us this beautiful music, please come forward. I invite Mr. Subramaniam, a friend of the choir, to say a few words.
Friends, I think in the tabernacle of God, what we have experienced today is possibly both a blessed and, I think more importantly, an enriching personal experience. It's not simply the accomplishments of the two great masters of music we saw today. One who happens to be an associate member of the Royal Academy of Music, Will Dawes, and we also have somebody extraordinarily brilliant who has attempted to compose music with a sense of perception which is beyond cognition. But what is more important is, this is being rendered in the Church of St. Francis of Assisi, whose first line is, "Lord, make me an instrument of peace." This evening's rendition began that way, and it ended that way. This musical rendering must be viewed no more and none of the greatest offerings to the tabernacle of God, the Almighty, who possibly has talents and ability to even receive music. Those of us who have been advantaged to sit in this audience today, I congratulate Baroness Jan Royal. I congratulate every one of you who has been associated with this program, that we all have received. We have received something which has entered our hearts. It is very difficult to describe that ineffable spiritual experience which was given by all those who participated today. One thing which all of you would have possibly experienced, and I say without some fear of qualification, all of us forget ourselves when it is enriching music. We feel we're too small. We only look at those who sing. When we look at those who sing, we see them almost transcending themselves. And it looks as if their voice, their souls are literally flying out right up to the top. And you could feel that so many times today. There was not one discordant note in the entire rendition under both the masters of music. And what brilliant masters. For the Goa University to have an Argentinian Italian professor who actually has taken such interest in the synthesis of pluralist traditions in music is, I think, a gift. And the fact that he has spent so much time, and his compositions, which reflected inordinate amount of labor, and for those who are associated with music, how he actually blended 3 different types of music in his compositions. For Will Dawes, I must tell you that his selection must itself have actually carried a great deal of effort. He always is chirpy. He makes it feel that it comes to him naturally. But take it from me, behind all this is a great deal of work. This evening will always remain etched in my heart as a truly special evening. I thank you, Jan, that you invite me and my wife Geeta to be present on this occasion. And I thank you, Dr. Purulekha, that you made such a memorable event on the advent of Christmas happen in one of the most beautiful churches in Goa, a church which is not only marked by history, but which is marked by prayers and miracles. I leave you with a sense of immense happiness, and I express on your behalf my heartfelt gratitude to Santiago, to Vildors, and the magnificent singers who stood there and who sang with total synchronicity, not only of musical notes, but with their souls. Our souls were united with them. But that could happen because it was in a tabernacle. It was indeed a wonderful spiritual experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Subramaniam. And on behalf of the Goa Institute of Management to say our final thank you and close this evening, I request our first-year student and member of the GIM choir, Valdo Fernandez, to propose the vote of thanks and close this evening.
It is my honor and privilege to thank a couple of people who made this evening a great success. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the entire team from the Somerville College, Baroness Janet Blaiston, the principal of the Somerville College, and Sarah Kaleem from the Oxford India Center for Sustainable Development. We are extremely grateful to Mr. William Dawes, Director of Chapel Music of the Somerville College, and all the members of the Somerville Choir for traveling all this way to perform this concert for our souls with their harmony. Will visited GIM and Goa a couple of months back to work out the details of this event. We are grateful for your work, Will, and all the pain that you've taken the event a great success. A round of applause, please. We owe our special thanks to Dr. Santiago Lusardi Grilli, the conductor of the GIM choir. A round of applause. The delightful program that you have seen today is a culmination of the efforts of Dr. Santiago. For all the hard work from the basics, acknowledging the we are a bunch of business school students with little or no music background. Our memories are cherished. I would like to thank the choirs for the day. Firstly, the Goa University Choir for joining us in this performance. Applause. It was a wonderful experience, every one of you. A word of gratitude from the GIM Choir for their commitment, discipline, and dedication to put up such an amazing concert. A big thank you. Oh wait, a round of applause for that as well. Where would this concert go without a beautiful set of musicians? Yeah. So a big thank you for the accompanying musicians today. We have Jonathan Boyer on the santoor, Frederica Cotta and Chanel Mendonça on the violins. Could you please stand up? Subhash Parwar, the soloist, who's Kunal Kale on the tablas, and someone who was holding all of this together, Karen Fernandez on the piano. Institute of Management, I would like to thank the members and the society and its chairman, Professor Ashoka Chandra, for their guidance and support, especially who initiated the entire conversation with Sarah Kaleem from the Somerville College for GIM to host this event as part of the 25th year celebrations. We are grateful, as always, to our director, Dr. Ajit Parulekar, for his vision and enthusiastic support that he provides to our institute. A round of applause. An event like this requires a lot of planning and an eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by very motivated and dedicated professors, staff, and students who worked hard to make this a great success. I'm proud to say that we at GIM work with family spirit. We thank the professors Rick Serpis, Kea Melo Furtado, Umesh Metani, Padmanabhan, Akshay Bhatt, that supported the staff of Danesh, Samir, Celine, Vedika, Mukesh, Hilario, and Yeshwant. We are grateful to the Archdiocese of Goa, Archbishop Philip Neri Ferrão, and Father Joki Loyola Pereira, and the Archaeological Survey of India for letting a beautiful chapel. A big thank you for the media, print media, social media partners, and Skeeter from our PR agency. A word of thanks for this evening. And by any chance, if there is anyone who have missed, my words of gratitude to them as well. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, all of you who are present here today, thank you for being a part of this 25th year celebration event of the Goa. Have a good evening and a great weekend.